one of the, I test a bunch of different network storage devices, right? We talk a lot about the Synology. It's certainly the one that is the most full featured. We also talk about QNAP. UGREEN has their offering that's, you know, still sort of, I know it works really well for certain things, and it's continuing to get better. And then there's this company called TerraMaster that makes their TerraNAS units. And hardware-wise, they're fantastic. Software-wise, if they do what you want them to do, they're great. And they know at TerraMaster that they need to compete and therefore develop and add features quickly. And so they are very open to using open source stuff to enhance their network storage devices. And that means that, and every one of them will allow you to install open source stuff. I mean, that's kind of that's what open source is. But TerraMaster really works to integrate the open source stuff as though it were first party. They don't try to tell you it's first party or anything. They make it clear it's open source. But they don't just say, sure, install it if you want. They say, here's the best thing to do for our device, and we've already made the integration path so that it kind of works. And their operating system is called TOS, and the new version, TOS 7, they advertise that it is a full native AI operating system for your network storage device. I was like, all right, well, this is interesting. So I installed it on the unit that I have that mainly runs as like a Plex server and does a couple of other things. And when I first launched it, it was like, okay, I'm not seeing it. But what I did see is in the toolbar now is a link to launch OpenClaw, which is the engine that everybody was buying Mac Minis to install on and, run their own personal agent. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. And so I clicked on it. And of course, it tells me this is beta software and, you got to be careful and blah, 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 blah. And I said, sure. Yep. Got you. Thank you. And said, okay. And that was it. I didn't have to go through. Actually, it asked me one more thing. It said, which large language model do you want to use? And I already had a code, like an API key for one of them. And it would walk you through the entire process of getting an API key, which isn't really a big deal. You could use OpenAIs and use ChatGPTs or whatever, but I have an API key for Kimi, this model that we use for some other things with one of the businesses. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll point it at that. So I did. And then that was it. I was done. What was cool is I launched into OpenClaw, and I have OpenClaw running on my headless iMac, which is soon to be my headless Mac Mini. And so I'm familiar with the OpenClaw interface, but I didn't have to be. I asked it, why is the sky blue? And it answered. And I was like, okay, great. So it has access to this language model. Wonderful. But what I then did was I said, hey, how do I change my IPv6 settings? And that's all I said. I didn't say on my, TerraMaster, I didn't give it a model number. I didn't give it anything. I just said, how do I change my IPv6 settings? And it said, okay, great. Here's how you do it. Do you want me to do that for you? And it was like, okay. So and it was clear that there is a TerraMaster, TerraNAS, a TOS plugin already pre-installed, or a skill, I guess is what we would call it in the AI world, already pre-installed with that install of OpenClaw, which is you could use for anything. Like you could use it to, do your stock trading for you. Like be very careful if you choose to do that, obviously. But like it could do all of those things. But it's built to be your chatbot interface to control your NAS. And it was like, that's a really smart way to do it, because they've taken all of this work that's been done for open source and then added their little connector to it. I don't mean to, dismiss the work they did, but they're really leveraging that which already exists to become their interface. And I think it's really smart, because I am a believer that the interface of everything will become a chatbot. And Amazon's already doing it, right? You go to a product page and you see the little thing on the left. Don't sleep on that either. Just go over there and ask it questions. It knows about Amazon. It doesn't know what you want. It knows what Amazon wants, so bear that in mind. But, it's nice to be able to say, no, this isn't what I'm looking for. What I want is, find my card that's for my wallet and has a digital business card and is rechargeable with Qi, right? And you can just type that in and it will go and find it for you. That's pretty cool. I don't need to know how to navigate Amazon. I need to know how to tell it what I want, and it needs to know how to navigate Amazon, and it does. So it's pretty good.